So hello again, welcome to another optimization guide. Today I'll show you how to optimize GTA 5 Enhanced Edition and get the best FPS and quality possible. And I made this video late because GTA 5 Enhanced had so many bugs and Rockstar fixed it in latest update, so there is no point of making this video earlier and tell you wrong settings. Now let's get started. So first category in settings is frame scaling, in which we have 5 options: native TAA, DLSS, FSR1, FSR3 and sampling. I tested all settings in native and quality preset, and quality wise on steady scene, TAA was worse. DLSS and FSR3 were almost similar, and sampling X 1.25 was also good. Obviously we are rendering more pixels, but on distant objects all scaling options were blurry, except FSR3, which you can see on the text of the billboard. And I also tested all scaling option in motion, where DLSS was worst among all. I don't know why, but you can see it's not generating perfect image. Now you will say GC GTA 5 Enhanced uses old DLSS version 3.7.10, which uses old preset F for DLAA. So yeah, for you guys, I also tested DLSS version 310.2.1, which uses new preset K for DLAA, and it looks like it fixes the issue, but no, issue is still there. If you see it from different angles, you will see the same problem. So yeah, preset K was also struggling in motion, so first time FSR3 beats DLSS, and sad to say, but go with FSR3. You can also use sampling X 1.25, which is better than FSR3 in terms of quality, but it will cost around 10 to 20 FPS. Then in quality preset, again FSR3 was better, and let's not talk about FSR1 because it was worse than TAA. So yeah, FSR3 is the most stable one in GTA 5 Enhanced Edition, at least in my testing. Now let's move to RT section, and I'll also talk about non-RT shadow, reflection and ambient occlusion settings in this section because they are related. So let's first talk about non-RT shadows, in which all options looks trash because enhanced versions still have this shadow boxing problem which was present in legacy version, and I tried everything to solve it but couldn't fix it, except if you mod your game. But if you do that, then you can play GTA Online. You might get permanent ban, so there is no fix for this problem, and this is so annoying. But if you turn on ray trace shadows, then you can fix this problem. And RT shadows also adds grass shadows even in high grass quality. But ray trace shadows are also not that much good. As you can see, all RT shadows are so freaking soft that I can't even see the shadow in ultra RT shadows. I mean, look at this. It is smoothing shadows that much that it is losing details in the shadows. We can't even see the pens in the shadow. What a trash implementation of RT shadows, huh, Rockstar? But there is one good thing about RT shadows. It adds grass shadows even in high grass quality. In non-RT shadows, high grass quality don't have grass shadows. And if we talk about quality of grass shadows, then high and very high RT shadows look same, but ultra completely changes the look. It looks so good and it makes the game so realistic. Now if we talk about performance, then in RT shadows, high gives you more FPS than very high non-RT shadows, and very high and ultra RT shadows cost 4%. Then in non-RT shadows, all options were giving similar FPS, maybe because of this shadow boxing problem, I don't know. But VRAM wise, high shadows cost 100 MB and very high cost 200 MB as compared to normal option. So in my opinion, go with high RT shadows, which solves your shadow boxing problem of non-RT shadows, plus it adds grass shadow and it have little more details than ultra RT shadows. But if you like more realistic grass shadows, then go with ultra. But ultra will make other shadows so smooth. And there is one more thing, game renders non-RT shadows in reflections even if you are using RT shadows. So if you see low quality shadows in the reflections, then you have to tweak non-RT shadows, but I don't think you will need high quality shadows in the reflections. So if you are using RT shadows, then set the non-RT shadow quality to normal. In return, you will get 2 to 300 MB more VRAM. Next I tested long shadows, which renders more realistic long shadows depending on sun's location during sunset and sunrise time, and it does not cost anything, so leave it on. Now I don't think I should test these high-res shadows and extended shadows because we are using RT shadows which will override them, so there is no point of testing this. But I still tested it just because you don't say GC isn't a good benchmarker. So these two settings are only accessible in very high shadow quality, where high resolution shadows increases the resolution of shadows. Obviously that's what the name says, but it uses around 200 MB of VRAM and it costs 6 to 7%, so leave it off. Next is extended shadows, which increases shadow draw distance beyond the normal limit. But I found no difference between 0 out of 10 and 10 out of 10. Maybe it's broken after the update, or my game is broken because I claimed it for free from the Epic Games Store. Whatever the case is, but this setting does not work, not for me at least, so leave it at 0. Then next is reflection settings, in which normal reflection makes Michael look like Mario. In high you can see Michael again, and very high gives perfect reflection, and ultra applies anti-aliasing in the reflections. As you can see, edges are smooth, and performance wise normal to very high does not cost anything, but ultra costs 9%. So go with very high because the quality wise both are almost same, and keep in mind these are not RT reflections. Game still uses old cube map reflections in some mirrors, all water surfaces and vehicle side mirrors. Even in ray trace reflection, game still uses cube map reflections for these objects, and that's disappointing. Now if we talk about RT reflections, which turns on ray trace reflections on reflective surfaces like cars, windows and other reflective surfaces except water, vehicle side mirror and some other mirrors in the game, and going from high to ultra increases the draw distance of ray traced objects. And quality wise high and ultra looks same. I also tested it in rainy weather, but in rain I found one big problem with very high and ultra RT reflections, which is this simmering issue. If you go above high, then you will see this weird noise or simmering, whatever you call it, and it looks so bad. And performance wise, going from RT off to high costs 10%, very high 14% and ultra 18%. So in my opinion, you don't need ultra RT reflections. I mean, you are not gonna stare at the reflection all the day. Plus it looks bad in rainy weather, so ultra is not an option. But RT high is good improvement over normal reflections, and it only costs 10%. So go with high RT reflections. At the end we are playing enhanced edition. If you don't use ray tracing, then what's the meaning of playing enhanced version, right? Now let's move to global illumination, which enables RTGI in the game. Quality wise, RTGI high makes the game more realistic, and going from high to ultra illuminates the scene even more. And this options also controls the draw distance of RTGI. I think RTGI is also very good improvement over normal game. It makes the game more realistic. So yeah, you should use RTGI. But I found two major problems in RTGI. One, it introduces lots of noise, and second, it breaks the lighting when two light sources intersects with each other. As you can see, in high and very high, car's headlight is conflicting with false light. It looks like it's glitching, where ultra kinda fixes it, but if you see it from different angle, ultra also shows this problem. And performance wise, going from RTGI off to high and very high costs 10% and ultra massive 30%, and it also uses around 400 MB of VRAM if you go above high. So in conclusion, if you wanna use RTGI, then go with high option. Don't use very high or ultra, it's just waste of FPS and VRAM, because quality wise you will not notice that much difference between high and ultra. So go with high RTGI. And let's move to ambient occlusion, which adds shadows where two objects meet. So if we talk about non-RTAO, then HBAO adds very less shadows to objects, and SSAO makes the shadows darker. You can also see that in this scene. And performance wise all options are similar, but theoretically HBAO is better than SSAO. So go with HBAO. Now let's talk about RTAO, which overrides normal AO, and it makes all AO even darker and realistic. But it introduces lots of noticeable noise even in ultra option. And if we talk about performance, then only ultra option was dropping FPS by 5 to 6%. So in my opinion, don't use RTAO, use HBAO and get more FPS and zero noise. Then at last we have BVH Quality in RT section, which increases objects, which gets all of these ray tracing effects. I tested all RT options with BVH, and RT shadows have the most benefit out of all. It enables grass shadows when we are using RT shadows, and it looks so good. Then in RT reflection, I found only one object which got added in very high. Yeah, this is Benchmark King's example. Don't comment me, you stole the example from him, because there is no other difference to show, bro. What can I I do, I have to show the same example that he showed. Then I found no difference in RTGI and RTAO, and performance wise very high BVH does cost around 10%. So I would suggest high, but if you like grass shadows then go with very high. Now let's move to the next section, in which first is shader quality, and this setting enables parallax occlusion mapping in very high option, and it also adds this really cool sunset effect in high and very high options, and performance wise it does not cost anything, so go with very high. Then next we have texture quality, in which normal textures gives you low quality textures and you have to restart the game for this. Then high improves the quality a lot and very high makes the texture crystal clear. And if we talk about VRAM, then going from normal to high cost 1 GB of VRAM and very high cost 100 MB more. But textures are so good in very high option, so go with very high. And texture quality also controls road textures and other textures. You can see very high textures are mother. Can't you see I'm benchmarking here, you piece of shit? Oh shit. I'm really sorry auntie, I was gonna punch her. Okay, so in conclusion, go with very high textures if you have more than 4 GB of VRAM. Next we have anisotropic filtering, which does not cost anything and does not even do anything. I found no difference between off and X16, so go with X16. Moving on. Next is particle quality, which controls various particle effects in the game, like this fire effect. You can see ultra particles completely changes the look, and this option is new implementation for enhanced version. This setting also controls muzzle flash effect of guns, and it also controls explosion effects. You can see Ultra produces more realistic explosion, and performance wise it costs 4 to 5%, but it definitely worth it. So go with Ultra Particles quality. But I haven't tested this setting while spamming explosive ammo, so if you find any performance decreases when multiple explosions are happening in the scene, then consider lowering this setting. Next we have Tessellation quality, which mainly affects trees. You can see off looks flat while normal adds depth to the trees, and high and very high increases this effect even more. And performance wise only very high cost 4%, which isn't that much, but still go with high tessellation. Next is water quality, which obviously controls water quality. You can see normal water looks like sewer water, while high to ultra looks realistic, but there is no difference between high and ultra. I also tested it underwater and found no difference between normal and ultra, except if you look the sun from underwater, you can't see it clearly in normal quality, while in high, very high and ultra you can see it clearly. And performance wise there is no difference between normal and ultra, so you can go with ultra water quality, but I would still suggest high because there is no difference in quality between high and ultra, so go with high. In the end of this category we have grass quality, in which normal option completely disables grass and foliage, while going from normal to high enables it. Very high increases density and draw distance, and it also adds grass shadow. Then ultra further increases the density, draw distance and shadow quality. And right now you are seeing non-RT shadows. These are not ray traced, and performance wise going from normal to high costs 6%, very high 10% and ultra 17%. So go with high if you don't want grass shadows, and if you want grass shadows then go with very high. And I'm talking about non-RT shadows. RT shadows enables grass shadows even in high grass quality. So if you are using RT shadows then go with high grass quality to get the best FPS possible. Then next we have light quality, which mainly affects two things: volumetric lights and headlight shadows. Going from normal to high enables volumetric lights, very high and ultra further improves it, and very high and ultra also enables headlight shadows. Very high casts one shadow while ultra casts two shadows, one from left headlight and one from right one. Personally I don't like two shadows, it is unrealistic in my opinion, and performance wise this setting does not cost anything, so you can go with very high or ultra depending on which type of headlight shadow you like, but I would suggest very high. And there is one issue I wanna mention here, which is this disappearing problem. When you go away from some light, it just disappears. I don't know what's causing this, and I searched everywhere everywhere but couldn't find the solution. So if you find the solution, then let me know in the comments. Except modding obviously. Now let's move to post effects. In settings, going from normal to high enables motion blur option, and very high enables in-game depth of field option. Quality wise, going from normal to high enables bloom effect, and very high and ultra further improves it. And underwater, normal and high don't have depth of field effect, while very high and ultra enables underwater depth of field effect. And I'm not talking about this in-game depth of field effect, it is different. And performance wise, going from normal to high costs 3%, very high and ultra around 10%. So I would suggest high because there is not much difference between high and ultra, and I don't like underwater depth of field effect. But if you like it, then you can go with ultra. But you have to sacrifice some FPS, and these two options does not cost anything, so it's a personal preference. Then in the end we have population density, variety and draw distance. Population density controls density of vehicles and pedestrians. As you can see, 0 out of 10 spawns very less vehicles, 5 out of 10 spawns more vehicles, and 10 out of 10 spawns even more. Similarly, it spawns more pedestrians when increasing this. And performance wise, 5 out of 10 costs 3% and 100 MB of VRAM. And 10 out of 10 cost around 15% and 200 MB of VRAM. So in conclusion, if you have serious performance issue, then go with 0 out of 10. Otherwise, I would suggest 10 out of 10 because it adds more details to the game. I mean, if you set 10 out of 10, then you will see people taking pictures and autograph of movie heroes outside of the theater, and this detail is not available in 0 out of 10 or in 5 out of 10, and there might be more details like this. Who knows? Then population variety setting controls variety in vehicles and pedestrians. By variety, I mean similarity in vehicles and pedestrians. If you set it low, then you will see same person and vehicles cloned, like this woman is same as this one. Just clothings are different, and performance wise I couldn't find any difference even in VRAM. So I would suggest that this option same as population density. Next we have distance scaling option, which controls LODs of distant objects. As you can see, increasing this gives you high quality models of objects which are in distance. And performance wise, there is no difference between 0 out of 10 and 10 out of 10. So go with 10 out of 10. Then I also tested this extended distance scaling, which further increases the draw distance of LODs. As you can see, in 0 out of 10, this Go Postal building is very low quality, while in 5 out of 10, it increases the details, and in 10 out of 10, you can even see this billboard clearly. And performance wise, 5 out of 10 cost around 5%, and 10 out of 10 cost massive 17%. So in my opinion, 5 out of 10 is good balanced option if you want more details in distant objects, but if you are using extended distance scaling, then that means you have decent hardware. So go with 10 out of 10 for the best quality possible. And if we talk about quality, then high detail streaming while flying also improves the quality. You can see when on, it adds more details to the world and objects when you are flying, but it costs around 20% FPS, and I don't think we need high details when we are flying. You will not even notice it because you will be in motion. Plus, turning this off also reduces pop-ins when you are flying. So turn this off. And that was all of the settings. Oof, that was too much, but I explained every minute details, and here is the summary of all optimized settings in case you need it. Now let's see the in-game benchmark results between maxed out settings and optimized settings. And I'm not using any settings which I haven't used in optimized settings. This makes the benchmark fair and square. And as you can see, we are definitely optimizing the game. We are getting more FPS than Ultra preset. And we are not even sacrificing the quality. We got over 35% more FPS as compared to Ultra settings. Even in this scene where explosion happens, we are getting 130 plus FPS on average. And you can also see we freed around 800 MB of VRAM, which is pretty good. And that was it for this video. I hope I helped you in getting more FPS. And if you wanna improve your FPS even more, then watch this video where I optimize NVIDIA control panel. And as always, I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.